Welcome back. Well, yes, indeed. We'll be going over to our studios in Abuja, where Mr. Segun Oni, the National Vice Chairman South of the APC, joins us today. Good morning, and thank you for joining us today on the program. Taking a look at the comments that the chairman of INEC made in that town hall meeting. Well, if I could take it from the rear, where he talks about he's not under any pressure. Nobody's told him anything about removal, but we do remember that several occasions, because it's not once, that the APC, both some senators, even in the House of Reps and beyond, have spoken about this alleged plan to ease him off. Where did your party get that? Because now he says, I'm not under any pressure, no such thing coming to me. So perhaps it's just out there in public space, but not around him or on his table.
Well, there is no smoke with fire. This is a country where almost anything is doable, almost anything is possible. We got the information and we had to react to it. But I want us to get something very clear. The government has done many things to make people believe that its intentions are not noble. Its intentions are not right. When they floated the idea of postponement, we first believed it was a joke. Eventually, we saw the postponement. And so anything they say about this government, you cannot put it past them. It's a government that tells lies. So even when they talk at the highest point, you cannot believe them. So if we hear anything and we react to it, it is because we believe that the government is capable of anything.
Well, now let's talk about preparations for the elections. How is your party fully ready for these elections? And that's because before the elections were rescheduled, your party has said, let's go ahead and do these elections. But thereafter, we've heard the chairman of the commission and some of your party members say, well, yes, this shift is a blessing because it will also help put many other things in perspective. Take, for instance, PVC distribution in Ogun State, way below 40% before February 14, and now it's a little hovering around 49% of PVC distribution. But yet, your party has said, we're good to go in this one.
We are definitely going to go on. The 6 weeks have given us also time to do more. We were ready, and we are always ready. The most important thing to note is that the average Nigerian has made up his mind. He has made up his mind to go for change. He has made up his mind to try the alternative so that his life will be better. This is not about us. This is not about partisan politics. It is that the average Nigerian knows that they are not getting the best out of their government, and it is time to ask the government to go. It is democracy. When it is not going right, change it. And that's the dictum everywhere in the world. It is not going right for Nigeria today. The Naira exchanges for more than 250 to the dollar. It is not going right for Nigeria today. There is mass unemployment. It is not going right for Nigeria today. Our infrastructure are not working. It is not going right for Nigeria today. They promised us that power will be fixed. The president said if he cannot fix power in 4 years, we should forget it. Now he's been there for 6 years. Power has gone worse. That means we should forget it. In fact, on top of it, the president declared himself a failure. And this is politics. You don't reward failure with a repeat of class. It is not a primary school where if your pikin fail, you go tell her make it repeat. This president came right round to tell us. That's one of the few truths that I've had him spoken in the last couple of months. He said he has failed. His generation has failed. Shall we continue?
Two different things. If he says, well, his generation has failed, I don't know who would declare himself a failure. especially when seeking political office. So, aren't you quoting him out of context here, saying our generation has failed?
Let us get it.
Describe it as saying, I have failed.
No, he is the pilot. If the chief pilot in an aircraft says this flight has failed, it has failed. There's no other name you can give to it.
Well, anyway, if you let me comment here, I think I like the way you started it off, because it's also good because you are also part of history. When you talked about generation, we decided to see if we also can get some facts from you. You've also been part of the PDP before you moved on to the APC, and if you're talking about infrastructure that is not working, you talk about well, the exchange rate of the naira, which you say, well, it is appalling, especially that of infrastructure. While you were in the PDP, was there any time you tried to make suggestions and efforts with the government at the center to make sure that some of these infrastructure, especially our refineries, work?
Well, we did whatever we can do, and I was governor, and I have records to show that we tried to solve problems. It's easy to spend money, especially when it's other people's money, government money. But it is not easy to solve problems. What we have not seen in the Jonathan administration is a single problem solved completely in a sustainable manner in 6 years. Obasanjo solved the problem of GSM. Today, telecommunications is the better for it. And part of what we are enjoying is what is going on here. I'm in Abuja, I'm speaking with you in Lagos, and everybody will pick us up all over the place. Let the Jonathan administration tell Nigerians what single problem it has solved. Well, it's good. He has spent a lot of money. Spending money is not ingenuity. It is problem solving that is ingenuity. So we were part of the system. We saw these days and times coming. I was one of those people who kept saying that the PDP is at peak. The PDP reached its peak in 2007 when our set was elected governors. And we knew that when you are at the peak, you can only go down. You can only go down. And what you can do is to stretch the plateau by introducing a couple of strategic moves to make you stay in the minds of the people. When you are at peak, it's not the time for you to now start to sponsor people who are less than desirable to be in government and be at top party positions. When you are at peak, it's a time for you to bring a bit of moralization and a bit of quality control into what you're doing. Get the best. Don't bring people who will continue to water you down. And but we discovered that this is an organization whose only motivation is power and money.
Well, anyway, I think the PDP definitely will disagree with you. They'll come back and tell you and give you answers to some of those things they believe that they have solved. But if you look at it critically, the nation would look at comments coming from different quarters, specifically from the APC camp. And it has to do with so many allegations that would amount to, well, creating more tension in the polity. One of such is what your party released not quite long, saying that the PDP-led government has brought in people to jam the card reader on election day to the extent that, well, it will favor their cause. How did you arrive at that? Perhaps the nation would love to know, and if you expatiate more to see if there's any iota of truth in that statement.
I have told you, when you receive information, the wisest thing to do is not to keep quiet. Because we have seen terrible things happen. We received the information that election was going to be postponed, and everybody, most sane people thought, no, this cannot happen. In the middle of everything going right for Nigeria, why are we going to shock the rest of the world by postponing elections? But it happened. It did happen. So if we have any information the wisest thing for us to do is to put it in public domain, so that Nigerians will know this is what they are cooking for you. We don't wait until the food is completed and served. We will not be doing the right thing. So, if the government knows it is not true and it is never going to be true, they should come out with it and give us an assurance. That is what governance is about. Let them come out and give us an assurance that it is not true, it is never going to be true. We'll be happy.